Welcome back. The return of Pedro Mendoza. Wait, can we say your last name?
Yeah, you can say my last name.
Can we give an update on where you've been? You got some good news, right?
We have some good news. My wife and I, we just had a baby. So we were very excited about that.
Insert picture of Pedro's body, or baby body, with a Pedro face on it, right?
We'll do that right here.
He had, can we say you had a girl? I don't give too much information.
Adelaide. Her name is Adelaide. As of this recording, she's 1 month old, and she's beautiful. So my wife and I are very, very
she
excited.
Looks like your wife. Fantastic.
Yes.
So we got Pedro to come back in. Hopefully we'll have him back in more often. And today we're talking about our top 10 party games, which, if you follow my channel at all, you know is not a style of game that I'm into. But you like this a lot.
I do like party games. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I used to play a lot more party games when I was younger and single. And then when my wife and I started dating, we played a lot of party games. But then all of a sudden you get kids, and you don't go to a lot of parties. At least not ones with other adults.
Well, not the type of parties you used to go to either. Yeah, stop that. That's not a good example. So I've never... I skipped over those and kind of like... I was a kid, you buy the Monopoly, you buy the whatever. I don't even think I had Clue. I had Dukes of Hazzard board game, those kind of mass market games. Mm-hmm. I totally skipped over everything. I didn't play games at all in high school or college. Picked it up, a few years ago with a buddy of mine from church. So I totally lost on party games. And to be honest, I think most of them I'd rather do something else. And that might be watching something on Netflix or just reading, but they don't bring me in very much. I'm one of the few people who don't play board games probably for the social aspect. Which you played with me before. You probably know that's true.
Yes, that is true.
I'm like, take your turn! What are we doing here?
It's okay being competitive. I like being competitive, but in social games, it's about being competitive, but also having fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm more of a social butterfly kind of guy. I like being around lots of people and just cutting up. So,
although I can do some major metagaming. Remember when we played at Dice Tower? We played Viticulture, and I convinced everybody didn't know how to play. I had never played it before. Remember that?
I didn't know you were gaming everybody.
Yeah, and so they all took it easy on me, and I won.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Oh, I didn't play that game. I was next.
You were next door, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, because you look like you were just so I don't like this game.
Because Dylan kept going, he's playing you. He's playing you guys.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're so sneaky.
Yeah. So I can do a little bit of that.
I'll never trust you again. Never trust you again.
I told you my secrets. Okay, so we're going to jump into top 10 games, party games, which is going to be... I'm going to stretch the rules here. I'm just going to let you know because I don't play party games, but we'll get into that. All right, we're going to start with some honorable mentions, some games that didn't make the list. And we always have to preface these lists by saying we can only include games that we've played.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to keep it to published games. There is an automobile game that's circling the internet that's a really good party game. But it's not published, so we're going to keep it off. Game. Anything you think of that that might have made the list but didn't, or at least deserves some kind of mention?
Well... a lot of the games that I'm going to mention are actually a few of these are mass market games, and the reason I like some of these games is just because of the simple, streamlined, fun nature of them.
It's easier for party games to go mass market than it is.
So one of them is Reverse Charades. If you guys have not played Reverse Charades, I really enjoy Reverse Charades, especially if you have a lot of people that like just hanging out with each other and. It's better than regular charades, I think. Okay. Because what you do is you have everybody acting out, and one person has to try to guess one clue. And so, it's not a game that I would normally... obviously, the top 10 on my list, I'd play them above this game, but I do want to mention that it is a fun game, especially when you have an incredibly large group of people. You start getting into the 20, 30 people. Yeah. Playing a 15-team game of Reverse Charades can be really quite fun.
You've done this?
So, yes, I have.
You got 30 friends over your house, and you convinced them to play Reverse Charades?
Yes, it was actually at church.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we have 30 to 40 kids, and then 20 of them.
Gotcha.
And then you got one person who's trying to guess what the other 19 are doing. It's pretty funny. Yeah. So.
Anything else?
I don't know. We're talking about how are we defining party games?
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, jump into that.
So, so there's a definition that I usually go for party games. That's done by Bruce Vogue, who's the moderator for the Party Game Podcast, which is a podcast about party games and games you bring to parties. It's a really good podcast. You guys should listen to it. But his definition of like a party game is a game where you don't need to actually be like at a table to play.
Okay.
So you can just kind of be in the room. I'm going to stretch it a little bit and say some of these games. I'm just going to say party game is a game that can play relatively quickly with more than 6 people. And so if you have more than 6 players and the game tends to be relatively short, then you should be able to play this game. So on my honorable mentions, I'm going to have Dixit on this list. I really like Dixit. I think it's a good game. But like I said, a lot of other games on this list, because they're a little bit more social than this one is, I like them a little more. But Dixit is a really good game. And a lot of people tend to like it, and it tends to be on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, Dixit's really good. I think mine, I didn't have a definition. I've heard of that party game podcast, but I don't like party games, so obviously I'm not going to listen to it. I think my list is more of, I threw out the games that you don't need components for. So kind of like reverse charades, like, I don't think, you don't need to buy a game to play that. Is it Time's Up? Is that the one where the first round you can say anything, the second word is like the only word? Like, you don't need... I played that before at a party, but we didn't have the game. We just put words in. Yeah, like celebrities or whatever. So, the taboos, that kind of stuff, I have no interest in. Now, mine are going to be more of... I think my definition in my head, if you will, and hopefully I stuck to it, was the game doesn't matter. It's what brings out in us. We're bringing the game to the table more for a party game. So my honorable mention, one that I really like that people are probably not going to agree is a party game, is Mall of Horror. Not City of Horror, which is much more complicated, but Mall of Horror, where you're just voting a lot. So I included that one. And I think that's pretty much going to be my honorable mention. The rest of these I'm probably going to name at least. I would probably say Panic on Wall Street was a really good one. That's more team-based. It's a little more complicated because you have 2 different games going on, and you're going to have 2 different winners, if you will. But those 2 probably wouldn't necessarily be considered party games. I think Panic on Wall Street's really close, but there's so many rules in it that you don't really see in a party game. But those are going to be my honorable mentions right there. Okay, number 10, party game of all time, according to Pedro Mendoza.
So my number 10 is Werewolf or Mafia, whichever one.
Okay.
And so it's one of those games that I guess you can put it as one of your one of those.
Does this include one night?
Not one night. This is the actual social deduction game.
Okay.
So you can use it with playing cards, but Ted Alspach from Bezier Games, he has the ultimate werewolf game where you can actually buy the game, and it has all the roles and like about maybe 30 or 40 other roles that you can add to the game. And pretty much what the game is, if you've never played Werewolf, it's a social deduction game where you have a large group of people, and a subset of those people are going to be werewolves. And so you're going to have certain phases in the game where the werewolves will kill someone, with everybody's eyes will be closed, and the werewolves will choose someone to kill. And then during the day, after everyone opens their eyes, everyone else is a villager, and they're trying to figure out who the werewolves are. And then they all have to vote who they think they all have to vote for one person who they think the werewolf is. If they can kill all the werewolves before the town dwindles down to nothing, then the villagers will win. If not, the werewolves win. And it's a pretty cool deduction game. It's a game that has no rules per se, because the rules is what you make it. And that's what makes this game so interesting. So when you play the game, you have no evidence of who you think the werewolves are, except for maybe, a certain way they looked at you, or a certain tell that they might have, or that you can exploit if you're a werewolf, and you try to accuse other people. And the game gets really interesting as you continue to play. The only downside to this game is that it can be incredibly long. And
player elimination too, right?
It's player elimination. If you're playing with 20 people and you're the first one to die, then you're just there for like a few hours just watching everybody kind of see how everything plays out, which is kind of fun because it does tell a bit of a narrative story if you're into that. But if you're really more into the gameplay and trying to solve the mystery, once you're out, it's not that fun.
Watching people play a board game for 2 hours is not the definition of fun.
Yeah, but it's not really a board game. It's just a social interaction game, right? So I really like the game. I think it's a good game. I normally don't play it as much anymore just because my gaming time is so limited. So I tend not to play those super long Werewolf or / Mafia games. So, but that's my number 10.
My number 10 is going to be Word on the Street. This is a very different party game. It's paperback and this are probably my two favorite word games. But you have a street in the middle, and you have or you have a median in the middle, and you have streets on each side. And basically, you get a clue, and you have to bring up a word. And as you say a word, animal, A comes to your side, N comes to your side, I comes to your side. And you're trying to get them, I think, 3 spots over. Now, the next team goes, if they say a word that has the letter N in it, the N goes over however many times it's used. So you're rewarded for using bigger words, and you're rewarded for using words with more of the letters that you need. Because once you score A and somebody gets 3 spots over, A's gone. So now using words with A in it does not help you. So you try to get more and more creative on words.
So you have to get them till they're locked on your side.
Yeah. So you cannot do the Scrabble. You memorize a whole bunch of 2-letter words and you're going to win. Mm-hmm. It's like, D, Z, and G are left. How am I going to get a word with those 3 letters in it? But some of the common letters aren't in the center. So you don't have like S.
Oh, okay.
Some of the letters are missing.
So not the whole alphabet.
It's not. So it's like, you can't just use like Mississippi to get the words to your side. So it's fun, it's timed, and it's a really good game. It's one of my favorite word games. Word on the Street. Number 9.
For my number 9 is a classic, and it is Catchphrase. If you guys have never played Catchphrase, have you played Catchphrase? Mm-mm. Pretty much, it's a word deduction game mixed with a hot potato. So the version that you have now, you can buy this electronic device, and it has a myriad of categories. And so pretty much you get the Catchphrase device, and you set the timer, and then it gives you a word. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your team to guess the word, except you can't say words that rhyme with, words that start with. But you can use sound effects, you can act and do certain things, you can try to give them any kind of clue. It's not as strict as Taboo is. It's a lot more freeform, which gives you a lot more leeway to be funny and fun. And it's really cool when your team actually starts getting into this groove where you just kind of start getting into everybody's heads, and they could just say eggs, and you're just like chef, and you're like, that's it, how did you know? I just said eggs. And it's just like, it's just amazing. So Catchphrase is a really fun game. It goes over well with people that are not gamers, and I tend to enjoy it quite a bit. So that's my number 9, Catchphrase.
Every single thing you like about that game is why I don't like party games. You just can you put that over here and then be like, why I don't like them? Yeah, just okay. My number 9 is, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I normally do and put a couple games in here, but I think it's important to talk about games more than narrowing it down. So these would be 2 games that are about lying. Okay, and you got Sheriff of Nottingham and Coup. And both of these games are about tricking the other people into doing what you want. Sheriff of Nottingham, you're trying to lie about what cards you have in the package. You're trying to get to the sheriff. Right. And Coup and Masquerade is kind of the same way, where you're trying to lie about what identity you have. It's not a secret identity. You have these powers that you're utilizing to get coins that will win the game and to eliminate other players. So it's not a hidden role trader identity thing, but it's more of a... I'm just lying, straight up lying to you. If you're playing this with your kids, you have to explain the whole, it's okay to lie in a game type of thing versus lying in real life. So, Sheriff of Nottingham, Coup and Masquerade are very, very similar.
I don't know if I would consider Sheriff of Nottingham a party game, to be honest.
I don't know, man. Whenever I know somebody's coming over who doesn't play games, this is a go-to game for me that I can pull out. So that kind of plays into my... But you really don't think it's a party game?
Well, to me, because I feel like to have a party game or a great game you bring to a party, you would have to have a lot of players. And Sheriff of Nottingham, you can't play with more than 5.
Well, I don't have as many friends as you. So if I can get 2 people to come over and play a game with me, it's a party. I think that's fair what you're saying. Coup probably falls in the same boat of that. I think that's fair. But to me, there's like the light party. I'm bringing something extra. The game itself isn't fun. Like Sheriff of Nottingham, I'm putting cards in a thing and giving it to you. It's the lying and the paying you to look at Dylan's bag and playing kind of a character, if you will. And everybody plays the creepy yellow child molester guy in that, the red baker chef guy with a squeaky voice. It's the same thing.
Okay.
So
it's got like a little bit of a role playing thing. So you. I feel think like that's so.
I feel like it's a party game. I can get people into it that aren't into games, and after playing something like Gallerist or Panamax, I can sit down and we can all just laugh. Because who cares who wins, right?
Yeah.
It's the moments and the memories of like, I got that through. And I played this with complete strangers at Dice Tower Con one time, which was really fun because they didn't know me and you can't read me. So it was fun. So okay, fair enough. But that's my number 9.
Okay.
Number 8.
Let me see. My number 8 is another. I guess it's one of those games that you don't need the thing. You don't need to buy the thing.
Right.
But buying the thing is pretty good, and that's Telestrations. And I used to know it by another game. It was called, I think it was called like Telephone Line or something like that. But Telestrations is like...
Poop You Cat or something? That's the original version of it, right?
I think maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Eat
Poop You Cat.
And it's a really cool, funny game. It borders on the line of actually not really being a game and being more of an activity. But pretty much what you do in this is it's you get a word or a phrase, and then you have to write down the phrase on this piece of paper, and then... Or you do a drawing of that phrase, and then you give the drawing to the person next to you, and then the person next to you has to look at that drawing and then interpret what they think the phrase is. And then they take what they wrote down, pass it to the person next to them, and they have to look at that phrase and do a drawing of it. And so it's really fun.
So it's word drawing.
Yes.
Okay.
And so by the time it gets back to you, then all you do is kind of just read out.
Does somebody kind of screw with it on purpose? Is that it's like the Ouija board? Somebody has to move it.
It can, but this game, because of the nature of it, because these phrases are like, E.T. phone home. So if you try to draw that, all of a sudden, nobody's going to look at that drawing and go, oh, that's E.T. phone home. They're just going to look at it and say, oh, alien looks at the moon. And then somebody has to draw an alien actually looking at a moon. And then somebody else interprets it differently. So it naturally
I've always
becomes
wanted to play. I've never played this.
It's super funny. And so you read the phrase, you're like, oh, this is the phrase. And then you read the phrase that is at the end, and you're like, I don't know how this happened. And you got a cool little notepad with the game that actually...
It's dry erase?
Yeah, it's dry erase. You can just kind of look through it and go, oh, I see where it totally went wrong. So It's a really fun game, / activity, but you can play with a lot of people. It's really good. Telestrations.
Okay, number 8, I'm going to go for my dexterity game, my flicking game, if you will. These are great for parties. I've set these up at church. Had a bomb once, but it's Pitch Car. Pitch Car is a really, really fun little party game. My kids love it. Whenever I bring in all my Pitch Car stuff, it's a really good time. When you have it set up, people like to play it, and they understand it. You take your finger, and you flick it. That's the rule, right? That's the one rule in the game. Now, if you like those kind of games, Tumblin Dice is really good, too. Have you played this one?
Tumbling Dice, no.
Okay, it's really fun. Here's the one rule. You flick the dice. Now, what's good about this one with children is it has a little bit of math in it. I use addition with my kids because that's what they're learning, but it's really multipliers. So if you roll it, it falls on a 6. If it gets down far enough, you multiply the 6 by 4, so you have 24 points. It's very, very easy. And then, if you're looking for something a little heavier, Rampage. Have you played Rampage?
Yes.
It's a party game.
I don't think it's Rampage anymore. I think it's Terror on Meeple City now.
Terror on Meeple City. Okay, I have the Rampage version. I know when they came out, I thought they were going to get in trouble for that. I'm like,
and they actually did.
So, okay. But that has a little bit more rules in it. That's going to be a little bit more complicated for non-gamers, but gamers will get into it. And I tend to streamline games like that, where I take some rules out, like the blowing on it. I don't want to blow on my pieces.
Yeah.
Do you blow on yours?
Like on my normal pieces? Like
Rampage?
Yes, I try.
Okay.
You're supposed to.
Yeah. So that can be really fun and whatever, but I'm not into that. So those are the things. But Pitch Car is a really good one. And it's super simple, and everybody loves it. And you can play. I mean, you can get a lot of cards going on that if you have multiple sets on it.
You can, but also Terror Meeple City is also just 4 players. Just saying.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I know. Just saying.
Just throwing it out there. Are you fine with that?
Your parties are really small.
I don't have any friends. Would you be friends? Oh. Now this is the game I've been in anticipation of. Pedro Mendoza's number 7 party game of all time.
My number 7 is Witts and Wagers. Witts and Wagers is a really cool game. It's the only trivia game I'll ever play. And the reason why is because it has an extra layer of trivia. So in this game, you can be split into groups, and one of the groups has to, you get a card that says, okay, how much money do you think the Super Bowl made in 2010? And so everyone just writes a number, and you put it out there, and then everyone gets to wager who they think is the closest to having the right answer without going over, and then you get money depending on how much, depending on if you get the answer right or wrong, and then you can double down on certain answers, and so it's really cool because when you have a big group of people, like it's really fun when you have fewer people and playing this game and doing the wagering, but then sometimes you get like these large groups of people, and there's people who will know the answer to some of these
Dice
questions.
Tower Con has a game show of this, right?
Yes. Tom Vassell puts on like
We've
a whole
been, right?
game show. I've not been into one, but I've heard that people have a lot of fun playing.
We should go one year. We go to Dice Tower together every year.
Yeah. So, but this game is super fun. Plays really well. You don't have to know trivia, but if you're pretty good at guesstimating things, then this would be a great fit for you.
You got to know who at the table knows the answer, right?
Not necessarily. Just somebody who knows what the answer is pretty closely.
Right. But I mean, I don't have to know the answer. If I know that you are pretty close to the answer, I can bet on you. I've never played it.
Yes.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah. So I could say, the amount of money made at the Super Bowl, I'm going to say it's $300 million. And you're going to say, I think it's $400 million. We'll put it out there. But you're like, you know what? I think it's closer to
because he knows more about sports.
Yeah. So
that's nice in a trivia game because we don't always come to the table equal with trivia games. That equalizes it. Nice.
Yes, it's pretty good.
You have a pretty much no trivia game rule. I don't like them. Yeah. But that might be one I would try out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my next one is going to be an educational game series called the Timeline series. And these games are really cool. Like they have different themes or whatever, like American history or European history or movies or whatever. And you get a card and you have to put on the table. They come before or after this event. And then when you get the next one, they come before, after, or in the middle, right? And you have to try to put it in the timeline correctly based on what time. It's really neat educationally wise. We use it in our homeschooling sometimes with the kids to teach them things and just the dates and kind of getting a general idea of when things happen. Really, really neat. It's a timeline series. You can buy whatever theme pretty much you like. This is right out of big box Target stores. You can buy the cool stuff. It's available everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a particular theme, you might need to go like online to an Amazon to get the theme that you want. But man, this is really good with kids. You're gonna like this with Oliver as he gets older because it's a game, but you're actually learning also. Have you played this?
I've not played it, but I've seen it played.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I think you can get a whole bunch of people together and play this. Is this considered a party game to you?
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be. Yeah.
Okay. Number 6.
Number 6 for me falls into the social party game category, and this game is called Covert Action. And this game is a small game made by, I think it was made by R&R Games. I don't know if they still publish it. I still have my copy, and it's really cool. It's a spin on the Werewolf Mafia thing, where you have 2 teams. Sometimes if you have a bigger group, you have 3 teams. And in the team you have the minimum amount of people that you have to play with is 6. But you usually have a sniper, you have a bodyguard, or you have a sniper, you have a mole, and then you have a bodyguard. And then when you get bigger, you can actually have a cleaner too. And what you're trying to do is everyone looks at their role secretly, and then the game begins. And so the way a team wins is one of these 2 conditions. The sniper from the opposing team has to shoot the other sniper, or they shoot the mole on their own team. And so nobody knows who each other are. So you do know who's on your team, you just don't know what characters they are, and one of them is the mole. So the sniper's trying to figure out who the mole is, and then the mole is trying to tip the other team that they're the mole, and they're trying to figure out who the sniper is on their team. So it's this cool, really fun, just over-the-table interaction where you have people who are trying to lie about their position, but that they're not trying to lie, and then as soon as the sniper feels that they know who they need to shoot, either the mole on their own team or the sniper on the other team, they just point their finger and say bang. And if they actually shoot somebody who they're supposed to, then you get this card, which is really more of a timer for ending the game. But oh man, it's such a really fun game to play. I really enjoyed it a lot. A lot of people tend not to want to play this because they rather play like Resistance and other games like that, but I think this is an overlooked game and people should really play it. It's really fun.
I have it on my shelf and never pulled it off because it comes in a little container.
Yeah, it's like this big.
Yeah, and it just kind of sits there. But please don't make bigger boxes just for that fact. So, my game is one of my go-to games. When we have last Friday of the month we have a game day at our work, and this is a game I pulled out with non-gamers that really fun. Is Going Gone by Scott Nicholson, and it's just this mad rush to throw these cubes in. And it's funny because the first game people try to think it through, and then once they get the hint that I'm supposed to screw up, I'm supposed to throw these cubes everywhere, then the fun kind of comes out to me. So, Going Gone. You like this one?
I do like this one. Granted, I've only played it once, but the one time I played it was really, really fun.
That's all you need. You understand it within 1 second. And it has a set collection to it.
Yes.
That's tricky for people, but the timer is what drives you crazy in this one, right?
It's the timer, and then the fact that the cubes that you put in the cups, once you spend them, they're gone for the rest of the game. So all of a sudden you realize, if I want to complete a set, I can't just put all my cubes in one cup. I gotta reserve and hopefully get what I need. So
you can get hosed in this game, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Going Gone. Number 5. Cash and Guns.
If you've not heard of this game, oh my goodness, you're missing out on a ton of fun.
First edition or second edition?
Second edition. Okay. Better than first edition. So what you're doing in this game is you are all a group of thieves that have just robbed a place, and you're trying to divvy up the loot. But you don't want to divvy up the loot with everybody. Yeah, it's like Reservoir Dogs, if you've seen that film. So you're pretty much, you have a gun, and then you count to 3, and you point your gun at somebody, and then you play a card, whether just pretty much saying if it's a loaded gun or not. And people don't know if your gun is loaded or not, and you're trying to scare people away to not get the loot. So the people, if you feel like you're going to get shot, then what you do is you just bow out and say, I'm not going to participate in this gunfight. And the people that stay in and don't get shot actually have to divvy up the loot in the middle, which is pretty much some cards that get drafted in. And so it's a bit of set collection, but really what makes it super fun is pointing guns at one another, having that bluffing game of, is this person going to shoot me? I don't know. It's really fun, plays well with a lot of people, and I really enjoy it. So you should check it out if you haven't played it, Cash and Guns.
My number 5, ironically enough, includes Cash and Guns, but really is Bang the Dice / Bang the Card game.
Oh, that's fun too.
I prefer the Walking Dead version just because I like the theme. It's the same game. The powers are all the same, but I prefer the Walking Dead. It's funny, everybody goes on about the dice game, but for me, the card game has gone over better. But whatever version you like. But I kind of threw Cash and Guns in. It's on my list. I did because they're kind of the same thing where it's just about throwing down. One you're throwing cards and one you're pointing guns. But it's just about the experience of it, finding out who's what, and determining how you're going to survive the game. And what is really a game about shooting each other, right? One with cards and one with guns. So when you leave these games, if Bang doesn't take too long, because it can drag on, right? If it doesn't take too long, you can leave with a really good experience. So I would throw Bang, the Walking Dead version is the one I prefer. Number 4, Mendoza.
Number 4, it's a unique social deduction game. It's called Spyfall. Not Skyfall, like the James Bond series, but Spyfall, which I think is actually a parody. But I'm not sure. I would think it would be. But in Spyfall, it's really great. You're a group of people that the way the game plays is everyone gets handed out a location card. But in one of these locations, there's no location. It just says that you're the spy. And so nobody else knows that you're the spy. And so it's a team of one person against many. Those many people are trying to figure out who the spy is, and that's how they win. And the spy is trying to win by, I guess not getting chosen after a certain number of accusations. And it's really cool because the spy has no idea where he is. Everyone else does. And so the way you try to rat out who the spy is you have to ask questions. But you don't want to be too specific in your questions because then the spy can figure out where he is and also ask questions that'll help him stay hidden. However, if your question is too vague, then people might mistake you and you answer incorrectly, people might mistake you for actually being the spy. And so it's kind of this cool cat and mouse thing that kind of happens in the game where you're just asking everybody questions and trying to figure out who the spy is. I think it's incredibly stressful if you're the spy.
It can be, yeah.
Because you have this pressure of like, I think everybody knows who I am. But they really don't. I mean, they still have to figure it out, but you still feel like everybody's eyes are on you, and it's such a fun little game to play. So, Spyfall.
My number 4 is also going to be Spyfall. And I combined Codenames in with it because I feel like you're still trying to figure things out. Now, the best story I ever had was Spyfall. Remember when we played the Dice Tower?
Yes.
And Dylan was like, and he never quits a game.
No,
He's the nicest guy in the world.
Yes.
Is he not the nicest guy you ever met? That's not lip service. You could punch Dylan, he'd be like, do you want a sandwich? Right?
Well, I don't think he would ask if you wanted a sandwich. He's like, what'd you do that for?
He's like, I can buy you a soda. Nice. Let me take you to a movie. He doesn't care. He'll take me on a date after I punch him. He's a nice guy. He gets out in the middle of this game, he's like, I'm done. No more!
But what was really funny is nobody thought he was the spy.
No.
But he was the spy.
He drew it like 3 times in a row randomly. And he hates social deduction games. But,
yes.
But so that's the stories that come out of it. That's my Dylan story. So
yeah.
Spyfall. Codenames is a game where you're also trying to figure out the spy theme, where the words are at. It's more of a word game. I haven't played it as much. It's a really solid game. I'm not looking forward to the picture version at all. And there's a night version that you can buy at Target now. I guess it has dirty words in it.
It's the adult version. I wouldn't say it's dirty words. It's just more...
Well, they're supposed to be like he. This is the Cards of Humanity version.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
the more provocative.
The
more provocative.
Right. But those two are really, really good, and they have the spy theme attached to them. So if you're looking for a spy-themed party night, these are the 2 games that I would definitely add to it. Number 3, sir.
Number 3, their social party game. I love social party games, if you haven't noticed from my list.
It's like the anti-Dylan list.
But this next one is the Resistance. And so in the Resistance, it's similar to Werewolf.
Resistance or Avalon, or does it matter?
Resistance, Avalon. I guess there's a new version of Resistance. Not Resistance, Rebellion, which is a different kind of game. That one's more like Coup. But I'm talking about Resistance. They added cards. They added roles that make it more like Resistance, Avalon.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, I heard that, the expansions.
Yeah. So pretty much it's just like Werewolf, where everyone there's a group of bad guys infiltrating, trying to take down the good guys, except there's no player elimination, which is great because you can play this whole game, not get eliminated. What you're trying to do is the good guys are sending out people on missions, and you have to accomplish 3 good missions. However, if there's 3 failed missions, then the bad guys win. And so what happens is one person is chosen as the leader, and they have to choose a certain number of players in the game, or a certain number of people, to actually go on this mission. And then they have to decide if the mission has failed or has been accomplished. And so
by voting.
Well, you vote if you want the people on the mission, and then after you vote for that, they go on the mission, and then they throw in a card saying if the mission was a failure or not. So obviously, if you're a good guy, you want the mission to pass. But if you're a bad guy, you want the mission to fail. And what makes the game really cool is when the mission fails, all of a sudden you realize, oh, one of the people that we sent is actually a spy. And,
but which one?
But which one is it? And so you still have to send people out on missions. You still have to choose people to go on these missions, and so people start getting suspicious. And what's great is as the game progresses, you start getting a little bit more information on who the people are and who do you think could actually be the bad guys, right? If that's who you're trying to guess out. And what's really cool is you still have to send people on missions. So you have to make sure that you send the right people on missions. And if you play with the expansion, you can have certain roles that actually... there's one person who actually knows who the bad guys are. And so he's trying to get his teammates to figure out who the bad guys are. But if the bad guys ended up losing, then they still have a chance to win by guessing who the spy on the good guys is. Oh, it's so cool. It's a really fun game. Plays quickly. Plays with a lot of people, and it's a lot of fun. And I like it. The Resistance.
All right.
Or Resistance Avalon.
I like Avalon better just because of the theme. Mm-hmm. But whatever. My number... are we on 3?
Yes.
My number 3 is Witness. Now, have you played this one?
No, is that the Whisper game?
It is.
Okay.
So it requires 4 people exactly, which is going to knock it off your party list. But what's cool is there's a mystery. And you get a little bit of facts everybody gets. And then I'm supposed to tell Pedro something, and Dylan tells Mike something. And now I have to tell Mike something, and Dylan has to tell... And basically the information gets around. Then at the end, we all fill out what we think happened. And we get points based on how well we did, which gets on a scoring mechanism. So we're all working together to solve this mystery of what happened. And it is hard. Like, it gets really hard. And you can't write anything down, so you have to remember everything that's said.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then at the end, after you go through I think it's 3 rounds, then you can write everything down with a pencil and then fill out the questions. You don't even know what they're asking yet.
Oh, so you're just getting information?
So, yeah. So, like, I'll make this up. But pretend like, okay, there's a dead body.
Okay.
And there's some tracks coming from it. So I'll tell you something about the tracks, which you'll tell him, and I'll tell him. We're all whispering this, so you're the only person. So you get part of the information. But by the end, you allegedly got all of the information needed to solve. Okay. Right? But what I tell you, did you remember it exactly how I said it? And did it compute in you what it meant? And then when you get the question, it might be, how did these 3 people commit the murder? I didn't know there were 3 people. Well, you should have, because people were telling you things, right?
So you have all the information.
By the end, if you know how to utilize it and you were paying attention and you remember it.
Okay. Oh, that would be fun to play.
And if I told you what you needed to know, because I didn't know what you knew on the first question. I didn't know what you knew. So I may not be telling, I have a script I'm supposed to stay to, but it's a paragraph. I got to tell you the gist of it. Did I tell you the right stuff? So it's really cool. It's really fun. And part of the fun is screwing up, but it's a really, really good one. It does require 4 exact people. You can't play 2, 3, or 5. It has to be 4 people. And it's really neat. And you have to be okay with getting really close to somebody and whispering to them, which I know you enjoy. So, Witness, try this one out, especially if you get a party of 4 together, okay? Yeah, so you get a party of 4.
A party of 4.
So isn't that a movie?
Party of 5 was a TV show with Matthew Fox.
You watched it.
Of course.
Number 2, sir.
Number 2. My number 2 is Codenames. Yes, it is number 2, even though everybody would argue that this is like the best party game ever. I really like it a lot. I just happen to like one game a little bit more.
They haven't played the automobile game.
They haven't played the automobile game.
That's why they think that.
But once it comes out, I'll talk about it, and people will be like, oh yeah, this is a great party game. Codenames, man, this game is so good. It's so much fun. Jason talked about it a little, but what I really enjoy about the game is, in the game you have 2 teams and you're trying to guess. You have a number of spies that are out on the board, and one person from each team knows who the spies are, and so they're the ones giving the clues. And your team members are trying to guess where your agents are. And what's great is you can only say one word and a number, and the number correlates to maybe how many agents are out on the field that are related to this word. And so what I like is that you can have this layered thought where I was playing a game where this person was trying to connect 4 words that had nothing to do with each other.
Right.
And he used one word that if you could think on like 3 layers, you would guess what they all were, and somebody figured it out and listed all 4 agents. It was insane. So you get these really fun moments where, kind of like Catchphrase, where you play it for a while, and then all of a sudden you start getting into people's minds a little bit, and you kind of know, you could kind of guess what people are trying to say and how to figure out.
And I did that one time with somebody where I tried to pull a bunch of stuff together, and they went off on left field and were like, oh, this could be it too. I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't see that. Because it's easy to concentrate on the words you're trying to piece together.
Yes.
And not the other words.
Right.
It's so easy to do.
And it's so funny because the person giving the clue might say, might give a clue that's like, oh, it's obviously these 3 things. But then there's another word that feels like it's more connected, and that's not, and that could be the assassin, which actually ends the game and you automatically lose. So it's really funny. It's really simple. I really enjoy the game a lot. My wife actually likes this game a lot, and we tend to play it with a lot of our friends who are not gamers, and they get it. It's so fun.
For the record, I've never played Codenames, so it tells you where I stand. My number 2 is going to be Mysterium. Now, everybody I've played with this with tends to like it more than I do. If you're going to play Mysterium, you might want to start out with Dixit, which is a really good party game. You might want to start there because it uses the same cards. If you buy the set, it works with Mysterium. I also want to point out Deception in Hong Kong, which is Mysterium without the pictures, right?
I really like Deception.
Do you like it better than Mysterium?
I do like it better than Mysterium.
Okay.
I'll tell you why, but I'll let you finish.
Deception uses words as opposed to pictures, and that's the big turn on it.
It uses pictures.
Deception?
Mm-hmm. It has pictures. You have pictures in front of you.
So with the bullets, where you put the bullets out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, never mind.
Right?
Continue. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Okay. I feel like that's the big difference between them. It's Mysterium with words. Mm-hmm. Whatever you like. But they're all very, very good. I've had success with all three of those games, but Mysterium is going to be my number 2. You want the comments, sir?
Oh, no. I just really like Deception just because you're trying to... It's a social deduction game. Whereas in Mysterium, you're just trying to solve a puzzle.
That's fair.
But in Deception, there's actually somebody who's a bad guy who's actually trying to throw everybody off.
Okay, like yeah. Right. Number 1, sir.
My number 1 is the game that was actually on your honorable mentions, and that's Panic on Wall Street. I really like this game. This game is so much fun. The way the game is played is you have like 2 teams, or 2 groups of people that are playing like their own game. So you have a group of investors that are playing to find out who's the best investor, and then you have a group of buyers, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And so what they're doing is they're buying stocks or they're trying to buy stocks from the investors, and it's just really, 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 really cool. And I really like the shouting that happens and the screaming that happens, and it to me it just gives that vibe of what Wall Street should be, at least in that time period, which is, I guess, the 1940s or something. Of everybody just kind of waving their money around and trying to get a deal. And so, even though it's a little bit more complex and a little bit more structured than a lot of the other social games, for me, it gives me a lot more fun. It's just frantic, it's crazy, and it's over in 30 minutes. I mean,
my problems with it are that it's 2 games in one, so it's a little hard for non-gamers to explain it, because you got to explain 2 games.
Sure.
The other part was, if you get somebody who isn't going to yell, the person who yells is probably going to get the attention.
Yep. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Right. So you have to be outgoing to play this game. Mm-hmm. Okay, my number 1 is going to be Resistance Avalon. I like it. The rules come in the box. I like it. I like the theme. I didn't like One Night on Werewolf for a long time, which is very similar, and I started playing with my daughter. It's been a family favorite, so I'd like to mention that. But Resistance Avalon is Battlestar Galactica, the party game. That's how I see it. Okay. It gets right down to it. You're looking for the Cylon or the Merlin guy or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. No, Merlin's a good guy.
Yeah.
You're looking for the bad guys.
Yeah.
And you're getting right down to it. There's rules that do different stuff to kind of mix it up. I've heard Resistance does it. I don't like the theme as much as in Resistance, so I think if I had my choice, Avalon's just one little small box. It all comes together. If I was going to buy just one, that's probably where I would buy. It's going to be your cheapest option. Mm-hmm. But I've had so much fun. I've brought this up with so many different people. Everybody likes the game except for Dylan. I can't imagine it ever falling too flat because the paranoia just comes up. I've had some non-gamers struggle with it because I think it's so easy to play that they think there's more to it than there is. Mm-hmm. But these are our top 10. Any surprises on my list?
I'm surprised you had games that I personally didn't consider party games, but that's about it.
I kind of knew that was going to happen because I don't really play party games at all. So, Council of Verona, which is a really good...
That's a cool little game.
I really, really, really like that game. If you haven't played Council of Verona, you need to go out and get it. I consider that a party game because it's so light and kind of fluffy. Mm-hmm. Yours was pretty much, I think, what the mass of gamers, at least, would be on
for the most part.
Panic on Wall Street was probably a surprise for a lot of people that it's so high up.
Yeah, I just tend to like economic games, so that just is a cool, fun party economic game if we're stretching party game a little. But I forgot about Deception in Hong Kong. I actually do like that game a lot.
Would that make your top 10 if you had thought of it?
Yeah, that probably would have made my top 10, probably around my social deduction area.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you like it, share it. If you don't, ignore it. And let us know how happy you are to have Pedro back. Doesn't he look good having 2 kids now? Are you sleeping yet?
I'm sleeping now, yeah. My daughter's sleeping through the night, so that's really awesome.
Okay, great.
I'm finally getting my 6 hours of sleep.
Perfect. We're happy for you. And we were looking for his automobile game.
Yes. We're just gonna have this awkward silence. My eyes are tearing up. I think I'm some kind of like diva here.
You are a diva.
I think I'm ready for my close-up, Mr.
Bring in his tea, please.
All right.
You ready?
Hopefully I don't cough.
You need to go to your trailer?
Top 10. No, I'm good.
Okay. You're number 3, sir.
Oh, we did number 3. We're on number 2.